This is First Contact, Stories of the Call Center.
What's up with ashes from despair? What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, for me, so for those of you who have gone through the Myers-Briggs type testing, I'm an INTJ. And for us that are INTJs, we have, issues with, emotions. I mean, I am a colorful, passionate person, but being somewhat of an introvert, sometimes I don't do a good job of being able to convey that or communicate with that. And I'm my own worst enemy. I mean, for me, I'm a person who is achievement based. I'm not competitive. I mean, so what that means is that it doesn't matter if I win, I still beat myself up because I could have done something better.
Hmm.
And so really trying to focus in on being appreciative more is important. So when you start talking about ashes of despair, like, going through and dealing with a certain, boss or colleague, or losing your job, or just not performing in the way that you want to in your job, that's despair. I mean, you could fall into, the blues, maybe even depression. I mean, and those things are something that
Yeah.
you have to learn how to manage. And I think, especially when you start talking about a contact center environment being fast paced, it's very easy for that to happen. Some of it's very repetitive and can be boring and doesn't challenge you, but then, you have this flip side. So the ashes of despair and rising from them is really been a lifelong battle for me, and for many that are just starting in this. And I have a conversation with someone on a regular basis as a coach, who's dealing with this stuff. It's not easy, and so you have to really focus in on, how do I rise above?
That definitely makes sense. And I think we always say, we can be our worst enemy, right? We go in there, we're our harshest critic. We're the ones that hold ourselves to the highest standard. So where did your journey start when it came into being able to realize that?
I'd say for me, my contact center journey probably started like 99.5% of the entire industry. It didn't find it did, I didn't go seek it. It found me. And I was in retail. I graduated from university and I double majored in finance and real estate. And my dream was to be an investment banker. But when I graduated, it was in the middle of a recession. There were no investment banking jobs. And I worked retail while I was going to school, and I just stayed in that path. There's some companies that thrive, during a recession, and I got a job with one of those, a company called AutoZone that sells aftermarket auto parts. They do well in that type of environment. When you start thinking about buying cars, people don't buy them when there's a recession; they repair them. And so that company was going through some, significant growth. And I got a job in their real estate department, but just got married, moved to a new town. And I was gone all the time. That didn't work very well. And so for me, I'm like, I can't do this. I was gone every single week. And
Wow.
they said, well, you can go back to the stores. And I'm like, well, been there, done that. And they said, well, we just opened up this thing called a call center. I'm like, oh, what's that? And it just started from there. I mean, it went to the point where I eventually became responsible for the operations of, two contact center locations, over 800 agents. And I've been in the industry essentially ever since. I strayed a little bit, like you mentioned, but then I realized, hey, this is where I need to be. And I will have to argue with you when you say something about it's not a dream job. It is. It's just taken me most of my life to figure it out.